All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're going to absolutely master how to calculate required sales for target profit goals inside cost volume profit, or CVP analysis. If you've ever found yourself wondering, okay, exactly how many units do we actually need to sell to hit this specific profit number? Well, you're in the exact right place. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. Target operating income basics. 2. Formulas for units and dollars. 3. The net income tax adjustment. 4. Target net income scenarios. And 5. Avoiding common CVP mistakes. Okay, section 1. Target operating income basics. So, the absolute most crucial point to grasp right out of the gate is that when a business wants a specific operating profit, we actually treat that target amount exactly like an extra fixed cost in our CVP formulas. Think about it for a second. A break-even point is literally just figuring out what it takes to cover your fixed costs, right? So, if you want to make a profit on top of that, you just add that target profit right onto the pile of fixed costs you already have to overcome. Moving right along to section 2. Formulas for units and dollars. If your goal is to find out exactly how many physical units you need to sell, here's your formula. Target sales in units equals fixed costs plus target operating income, divided by the unit contribution margin. That top part, the numerator, that's the total mountain of money you need to generate. And the unit contribution margin, that's just how much each individual product contributes to climbing that mountain. Now, what if you need the answer in total sales revenue instead? Well, target sales in dollars equals fixed costs plus target operating income divided by the contribution margin ratio. Notice that? You're using the exact same numerator, but dividing by the ratio instead. This gives you the total dollar volume required, rather than the physical number of products sitting on a shelf. Okay, pay close attention to this dividing line right here, because it's a huge trap for candidates. Always match units with UCM and sales dollars with CMR. It is a cardinal rule. If you lock this specific relationship into your brain right now, you're going to save yourself so much frustration on exam day. Let's put this into practice with a mini scenario. Let's say we need to find unit sales. We've got $10,000 in fixed costs, a target operating income of $25,000, and our unit contribution margin is 40 cents. So we add our fixed costs and our target income together. That gives us a numerator of $35,000. Then we just divide that by our 40-cent margin, and boom, we beautifully arrive at exactly 87,500 units required. That is the exact amount of inventory we have to move to hit that specific 25 grand profit goal. But wait, what happens when Uncle Sam steps in and takes his cut? What if the target isn't operating income, but after-tax net income? This brings us to a major pivot in our CVP logic, because hitting a net income goal means we have to outsmart taxes first. Which leads us to section 3, the net income tax adjustment. Here's the golden rule you literally cannot forget. CPP formulas only speak in pre-tax dollars. They simply don't understand after-tax numbers. Because of that, you absolutely must translate your after-tax net income back into operating income. The formula? Operating income equals net income divided by 1 minus the tax rate. You're basically grossing the number back up to figure out what you need to earn before taxes just to be left with your target amount after taxes. This creates a mandatory 3-step sequence you have to follow to strip out those taxes before you even think about plugging numbers into your units or dollars formulas. Step 1. Identify your target net income and the tax rate. Step 2. Convert to pre-tax operating income using the formula we just talked about. And only then, at step 3, do you insert that new pre-tax number into your standard CVP formula. Do not skip steps here. Let's see this in action. Section 4. Target net income scenarios. All right, new scenario. This time our target is $30,000 in net income, and we're dealing with a 20% tax rate. Our fixed costs are still $10,000, and our unit margin is still 40 cents, just like before. Following our sequence, step 1 and 2, we convert. We take that $30,000 net income and divide it by 1 minus 0.20, which is 0.80. This reveals that we actually need $37,500 in pre-tax operating income. That is the real target we have to hit if we want to satisfy the tax man and still walk away with our 30 grand. Now, for step 3, we jump back to our trusted CVP formula. We take that $37,500, add it to our $10,000 in fixed costs, which gives us $47,500. We divide that entire chunk by our 40-cent unit contribution margin, and we get our true target, 118,750 units. Let's wrap this all up. Section 5, Avoiding Common CVP Mistakes. Consider this slide your ultimate exam survival guide. Number 1, don't forget the tax adjustment. Number 2, always convert net income to pre-tax operating income first. Never shove an after-tax number directly into a CVP formula. Number 3, match UCM to unit formulas and CMR to dollar formulas. And finally, number 4, when in doubt, just treat that operating income exactly like an additional fixed cost. As our success tip reminds us here, master the sequence to master the exam. Structuring your approach logically is really the key to locking these concepts down permanently. Don't rush straight to the final formula. Respect the sequence, do the conversion, and the math is going to naturally fall right into place for you. So, are you ready to confidently calculate required sales and tackle literally any target profit scenario they throw at you? Armed with the logic of pre-tax conversions and strict formula alignment, what other complex CVP scenarios are you ready to conquer now? Remember, understanding the foundational why behind treating profit as a fixed cost is exactly what separates rote memorization from true mastery. Keep practicing those sequences, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.